What's going on, people? Welcome to the LV Live Show. I'm LV Live. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Once again, I want to thank all the new subscribers for coming by to my channel, man. It is truly, truly appreciated. Big time win for them boys. Bounce back win, much needed win by beating the Brooklyn Nets, them boys across the river, man. By 54 points, 120-66. The captain, 20 points, 5 assists. The big cat, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 6 Knicks in double figures tonight, man. Listen, great game. Listen, this is the way you bounce back, man. It's the way you bounce back. I'm not shocked by this. This is how they should be looking. But great win. But we'll take this win, take one at a time. One at a time. Let's not jump out the window with this. This is how they should look after what's been going on as of late, right? So you should come out and do this to these guys. This is what you should do. So they get 2 days off. We got Philly Saturday. So, man, listen, this is easy work. So let's to me, we're 1-0 on the season. I'm not even thinking about the last other games. I don't care about nothing. We're 1-0 on the season. And that's how the Monsters should be going forward. And that's it, man. We just got to take it game by game. I'm not excited. You're happy that we got a win, but cool. Let's continue to start stacking victories. We've hit so rock bottom right now, man, that I'm not even too excited about this one. I'm happy, but now I want to continue to build on this. That's what I want to do. Continue to build on this. So I'm just happy. The guys can get a win in the winning column, right? The captain talked about that at the end of the game. I'm going to play his post-game interview. But this is a great win, man. Great win, much needed for these guys. And now, like I said, we want to know on the season. Now let's focus on Philly. Now that's the mindset. Get 2 days off. Get back in the gym. Get some shots up. Get your legs ready. Get ready for Philly because you know what they're doing. They're coming out athletic and trying to be explosive. So to me, that's when if they get a win in Philly, then I'm saying, okay, cool. Now we're starting to cook with grease. Now let's get back to winning ways. I thought tonight's offense was fabulous because I thought they were playing basketball. And what I mean by that when I say that, I know it kind of sounds kind of crazy, but what I mean by that is that it didn't seem like they were trying to run a system. It felt like the game was just coming to them. They looked for the open man in the middle. They were feeding Towns in the middle, which I thought was great. They were getting easy buckets. It didn't seem like they were trying too hard. It seemed like they were forcing shots. It seemed like everything came with the flow. Brunson wasn't over dribbling. It just everything, as soon as it got on people's hands, they were looking for a cutter. Towns made a couple of good passes. Josh Hart hit a couple of people with good passes. Mikal was attacking, right? So they just like a totally different team. And it felt like tonight they weren't overthinking things. They were just playing. And I think that's what you want. Like they shot great from 3 tonight, but they only took 33, 16 for 32. But to me, I think that's a good number. I don't want them trying to shoot 45 threes. I don't think that's who they are. Because once they get that in their mindset, they're just chucking up shots. But to me, it felt like they played in the flow of the offense and everybody was flowing. And I think the biggest thing also, too, was I thought they were getting after it defensively. I thought they were talking more. Guys were rotating really well. They weren't over pursuing. And I love that, right? So on both ends of the court, you've seen a cohesive unit. Guys were really dialed in tonight. Like you could see that. And once again, it's 1-0. I'm not, I know the record's going to say 26-18. We're 1-0 right now. To me, this is our first win of the season. That's how I'm looking at it, game by game. But this is how it should be every game, right? Dialed in, locked in. They were talking on defense. Guys were switching when they were supposed to switch. Guys weren't over chasing. Right, and they got up on the Nets quick, 38-20 in that first quarter, and never looked back. Of course, that fourth quarter is an outlier. It was backups playing, sort of backups were able to get some points in Diawara and those guys, but the game was over by then. But I thought that's what I saw in the first half of that game, and I think that we just have to keep it up and keep it going that way, and just continue to not so much play with pace, but just play comfortable within the offense. Like I don't think we should think that. And I thought that they didn't play like that tonight. It wasn't like, okay, let's play with pace. Let's do it. They didn't look like they were overthinking things. They just were playing the game. And that's why I said they were playing basketball today. But they looked like they were playing the game. In the words of the great Tibbs, right? The game will tell you what to do. And that's what it felt like they were doing tonight. That's what it felt like. It felt like they weren't overthinking things. They weren't trying to get things here because this is what the coach wanted. It was like, no, let's go with the smart basketball play. They saw Towns was in the middle. They read him. Boom. They hit him got him down there. He hit a couple of hook shots. So he got the nice dunk. They were going on a fast break. They weren't trying to shoot out for 3. They gave it to Josh Hart the top of the key. He saw OG cutting to the basket. He hit him. bang, bang, a dunk. That's how the game should be played. And I felt like everything just meshed, right? Everything came together perfectly, and they were more like reacting to the game, kind of similar to what they did last year with Tips. It was like a read and react thing. That's what it felt like tonight. And the threes didn't feel rushed. There's a couple of times Brunson was trying to go ISO one-on-one. I was like, Brunson, stop, man. Stop. Because they were just sitting there waiting for him. But all in all, today, it felt like this was a total team win tonight. That's what it felt like tonight. It felt like a total team win. Everybody was locked in. Everybody was down. And it was just a great win, man. Great win. Much needed win. But now we're 1-0. So let's continue to build on this. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Appreciate everybody coming through rock with me. Gravity. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rock with LV Live tonight. Big Task. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live. Disc Rover. Appreciate you coming through rock with LV Live. Eric Green. What's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rocking with LV Live, man. Tonight, man. Great win for them boys, man. Great win. Much needed. Much needed. But this is what you're supposed to do to a team like this. All them other bum teams we played, this is what it should have been. But I think... Of course, they stated that they had a players-only meeting after the game the other night, right? So, and I heard they had another meeting today, or another meeting like at practice yesterday. So they had back-to-back player meetings, right? So I think you got to get back to basics, right? And I thought tonight they did that. I felt like tonight they were playing for each other. There was no egos involved. Guys weren't trying to get their shots. Everybody was involved in the flow, and everybody was linked. It felt like they was just like a chain link, right? Everybody's got to be in and locked in, and then you do that, things are going to flow smoothly, and that's what it felt like tonight. The game felt like it flowed. Wasn't no crazy turnovers. They didn't, you know what I mean? Also, too, they had 28 assists tonight, almost 30 assists. They were sharing the rock, so it just looked great basketball tonight. Great basketball. It's good to see a guy like Shamet come out off the bench, and it was awesome to see he was the first guy come off the bench tonight, which I thought was great instead of Deuce. Because I love what he brings. He's great defensively. He's got a great length. And when he's knocking down shots, so you get that defensive intensity, and he's knocking down shots the way he is, I thought it was awesome. And I thought it was great to see he was the first one to come off the bench. And it's funny because if you guys remember, before he got hurt, that was what was going on. He was the first one off the bench. And I like him better coming off the bench first than Deuce because of his size. And so I thought that was awesome. Then Deuce came in, then Mitch came in. I thought Mitch had another great night. I think he was 7 and 7, 7.7 boards. I thought he was great. Thought Mitch was great again tonight. So I thought everybody was good. Thought anybody was good. Everybody was good. So it was just great to see, man. Rondo, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through rock with LV Live tonight, man. Great win for them boys. 120-66. The Knicks' largest victory, man, ever for this team. By 54 points tonight. Also, too, the Knicks had the largest lead since the play-by-play era. 57 points. The Knicks history is all Knicks history. But in the NBA, since 2016, this is the lowest points ever held a team. So the Knicks held them to 67, man, on the Knicks tonight. The lowest points by any team since 2016 in the league. So Knicks got after it defensively, man. The Knicks got after it defensively, and and I'm glad about it because this is what should happen. You know, well, I know, but Cat got 2 back-to-back offensive fouls. Yo, man, listen, Cat's got to start to realize that they're looking for that every single time. Like it's got to be in his head. So when he's going to the rack, he's gonna have to kind of. Even though guys he can't hook. He's going to have to hold the ball and kind of maybe lean his shoulder in. They should be kind of working with him on that because the refs are looking for that every time. And they're not giving him the benefit of the call. You know, the other guys get away with stuff like that. He doesn't. It's obviously been spoken about amongst the fraternity of referees, if you want to call it that, to look for that with Cat. So now he's got to go back in the lab. He's got to adjust. It's pretty easy, man. It's simple. He's got to do it. You know what I mean? But I thought he was great tonight. I thought he was great also too. He's doing great passing at the top of the key, but I didn't feel like he forced anything tonight. But I didn't think anybody did. I thought everybody was in the flow of the offense, and it felt like a team tonight. It felt like a cohesive team, not like individual stuff. right? And I thought that they came with and yeah, you could tell they were locked in, man. I mean, look at the score, man. Look what they did to them boys. They didn't play no games with them, none. They gave Cam Thomas no airspace, none. Michael Porter Jr., they're talking about him possibly making it to the All-Star game. I mean, I don't know. OG Anunoby had him in handcuffs tonight. Thought Cat played great defensively. Josh, everyone's playing good, in the passing lanes. Like, everybody was getting after it tonight. And that's how it should be, man. That's how it should be. Now going forward, we should get this effort every time. Now, you're going to have some doozies. You're going to have some tough games you lose. But, you get back and, get back on the bike and you kind of lock back in. But, this was expected. This was expected. Knew what was going to happen because of what's been going on as of late with this team. But them coming out and doing what they did to the Nets tonight, this sends a message that we're for real. And we've always known that, but these guys, they were kind of going through the motions, man. And hey, listen, Deuce made a great point the other night. I played it for you guys after the game. He said, maybe we kind of started getting kind of, comfortable getting wins, right? And when you kind of take your foot off the gas a bit and you think that you could just walk into victories in this league, this game will humble you really, really fast. And I think the Knicks have been humbled. I think that's what's happened. And to me, I think it's a good thing. Now we just have to continue to keep the ball rolling and stay focused and do what we need to do and start piling up wins, man. Start piling up victories because we got to do that. Because I think right now, where are we at in the East right now, man? Are we still third? I think we dropped down, man. I think we're like fifth in the East, something like that. Let me see where we're at in the standings here. Let me see where we're at. Eastern Conference standings. Oh, we're still third. Look at that. We're still third. We're still third. I thought we dropped. So we're still third, man. Half a game up on Toronto. The Cavaliers lost again. So we're a game and a half up on them. We're a game and a half out of second. So, we're right there, man. To me, it's cool and all, but let's just get victories, man. Let's stack wins. Continue to stack wins, and that's it. I think we'll be fine. Now, what's going on? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live tonight. Big time win for them boys. 54-point blowout. Beating them clowns over there on the other side of the river, man. They should go back to New Jersey, right? Get them out of Brooklyn, man. I don't want them in my city at all. Giving Brooklyn a bad name, man. They should get out of here. We'll turn that building into some type of I don't know, convention center or something like that for concerts and like the Jacob Javits Center. It could be something similar like that in Brooklyn. We'll do that over there with the Barclays. Get them out of here. Send them back over the swamp, man. Right over there in New Jersey, where it's at. Right over there where the Meadowlands, where they used to be. Yeah, man. Lionel Modus, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live, man. Big time win for them boys. Much needed victory. Beating the Nets 120-66. The Big Cat, 14 points, 18 rebounds. Hey, listen, guys, let's hear from the captain, man. Great game from him. Thought he set the tone being the leader that he is. And let's hear from the captain.
A victory in Knicks history. What did you see tonight from your team that we haven't seen enough lately?
A win.
We could be a little more specific because you have talked the last couple of days about things that the team needed to do. So if there was one thing that you saw from the very beginning of this game when the tone was set in that first quarter, what was it?
Honestly, the way we played with energy from start to finish, it was a key for us. Obviously, when the shot's not flowing with us and during other games, we got to rely on something else. That's where defense has to be energy. So we got to make that consistent. We got to keep doing that night in, night out.
What were the last couple of days like, though, for this team within the group?
A lot of soul searching and a lot of self-reflection. We got a long way to go to be the team we know we can be, but still a long season.
One thing we didn't get a chance to talk to you about that we found out on Monday, that you were voted a starter in the All-Star game. Second straight year, third straight All-Star appearance. What does it mean to you to be voted by the fans as a starter in the All-Star game?
Means more than means the world to me. And I came here and not really know what to expect, but this place has embraced me. This fan base has embraced me, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Thanks very much, Jalen. Congratulations on the win. Tyler?
Thank you, Alan.
Well, the captain is smoking. He said it was a lot of soul searching this week. A lot of soul searching. And I think that it's well said by him, man, because I think that was what was needed, right? Guys had to kind of get back to basics. And I think that, through those conversations they had with each other, once again, I've always said this to you guys, and I'm going to stress this to you guys. This is a brotherhood, man. This is a brotherhood. You gotta have the mindset that I'm gonna fight for each other. When it's no one else, it's outside noise. It's just you and them guys in that locker room. It's very much like the football example because there's a time in football they call it Hell Week, right? That's when you go to training camp in August. It's August 1st, we call it. And you're basically there from, I want to say 7 in the morning to like 4 or 5 in the afternoon. It's 2 days. And during that time, when you're really building that body armor to be able to get through the season, right? We used to always have a saying when I played, we used to call it sweat in the summer, champions in the winter, right? That was our saying, sweat in the summer, champions in the winter. And so you go through those things, you go through that time, and there's nobody around. There's no cameras, there's no nothing. Guys got girlfriends, and none of that around. It's just you and those guys. And sometimes when it gets tough during the season, you guys got to reflect back on that. You got to reflect back on those times in the summer when you were putting in that work, and it was just you guys out there, blood, sweat, and tears. And that's what helps you pull out victory. So the soul searching piece and the team meetings and all that stuff matter because you guys got to get back to basics. Like, why are you doing this? Don't get mad at him. Don't get mad at him. You guys come together as a team, as a brotherhood. If the coach ain't, excuse me, the hell with the coach. You guys come out, okay, what do we need to do to get victories and get wins? If we don't like the offense that the coach is running, let's simplify it for us. Because we're the ones that look crazy out there, not the coach. You know what I mean? Like, we're embarrassing ourselves. So you get back to where you're fighting for each other. I think that's why the whole thing with the Towns and the Draymond thing was just insane because people are like, yo, man, you got to come to his defense. Like, you got to do that. That's part of being a brotherhood. So that that's a different conversation. But it's similar in a sense because that's how it should be. And so you guys, when you're out on the court, you got to fight for each other. So if it's on defense, let's get after it because I can't let Josh down. I can't let Cat down. I can't let Brunson down or OG or Bridges or Deuce or Shaman, whomever. I can't let these guys down. So we got to get back to that. And then through that, you start stacking victories. You start, stacking wins. And so I think winning cures all. We understand that. But to Brunson's point, when the shot's not falling, you got to be able to still get good after it on that other end of the court. You know what I mean? And that's where, that ain't skill. That's just effort and conversation and talking and having your brother's back, right? And that's the brotherhood I speak of. So, it's a great win, man. To kind of, once again, to get to 1-0 and continue to just stack these wins, man. But hopefully with a win like this, the Knicks can start turning the corner, man. So I think it's great. One thing that he mentioned, too, at the end, man, was the captain's, 3 straight years in a row All-Star game, man, right? 2 years straight of being named a starter, right? I mean, this guy, you got to think of what he's become since he's been here now, right? I mean, he was a good player before, but he's ascended here. And you got to give big shouts to Tibbs for that because Tibbs put the ball in his hand and said, yo, take us there. And he's destroyed all doubt that was out there about him. And I think that him being here, this was a perfect spot for him, a perfect place. Like he mentioned, the city embraced him. And we embraced him because of his hard work and what he gives. One thing about Brunson, he ain't going to dog it. He going to go all out. And so, the city loves that. And so you got to really, we may not really, we're going to probably appreciate him more when he's gone about how good he was and the impact that he made and how much he's changed this franchise, his arrival. Randall kind of started things off, but this guy has taken it to new heights, man. To a place that we haven't been to since the 90s. This euphoria, right? I don't know if anybody watched the Knicks in the 90s. I don't want to give you guys age away, but I was there. I was watching with my pops. And it was a major special time for me because that's really where I found my love for hoops, was during that time in those 90s Knicks. And Brunson has brought that back. So big shouts to him, man. He deserves it, well deserved. And yeah, man. So that was awesome. All right, let me get in this chat, man. Once again, I appreciate everybody coming through, rock with me. If it's your first time coming through, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. But hit that like button for me, man. All right, let me see what everyone's talking about here. All right, this Grover says, that was basketball we were playing back in November, early December. Agreed. Agreed, this Grover. Agreed, sir. Okay, Eric Green says, what's good, Elvie? Nice to get back to winning. A solid win, agreed. Agreed. Big Taz says, win or lose, this is exactly how the Knicks should play. Agreed, Big Taz. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that, because no one's going to be upset if they play hard like this and, a team just kind of, gets a couple of buckets in the end and beats the Knicks, right? We'll talk about things they should have did better, but no one's going to really be too upset. But when you get smacked by bum teams that you're better than, that's what kind of makes people raise an eyebrow. So, I do totally agree with you, Big Taz. It's the effort, man. You got to bring the effort every night. This show says, I miss when we were doing schemes like flex screens earlier in the season. We had the league on roller skates. Well said, sir. Well said. But Disc Grover, I think also too, Disc Grover, I think the game looked simpler tonight. I think it was a lot more read and react. I don't think it was too much like, let's try to run the offense and try to do this, because it felt like they were being robotic, right? Today, it just felt like they were flowing with the offense. And they might have dumbed it down a bit too, this Grover, because that's what it looked like. It isn't like it was too much. It was simple reads, simple stuff. And I that's what I saw. It was like simple stuff. Like when Cat would roll and he would roll to the paint, Josh was firing it right down to him. And to me, that's a simple read. That's easy stuff. And they weren't doing that before. They're overlooking plays and over passing. Like, just go with the first pass. And that's right there. That's open. Go with it. Bang, bang. That was something that they did today, which I thought was awesome. I thought Cat and Brunson fed off each other. I thought Cat made a great pass to Josh cutting across. And it was just simple basketball. It was no overthinking. And I thought that's what they did, which I thought was awesome. This goes back to Josh saying the players need to look themselves in the mirror and be professional. Yeah. Mellow Mike, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, man. Hope all is well with you, sir. Big time win for them boys, smacking them boys across 4 points. 120-66 captain, 20 points, 6 assists. Wiz, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rocking with LV Live, man. How's the weather out there, Wiz? It's freezing out there. Yo, I hope everybody's getting ready, man. It's supposed to be like a nasty, I don't know, like storm coming through, man. You guys seen it? Everybody be safe this weekend, man. They said it's going to be ill out there. See, Wiz? See what we dealing with out here, Wiz? The Wiz, I heard it's like 82 out there, man. I got peoples out there, Wiz. They told me it was like 82 the other day. What was the weather today, Wiz? I'm tight right now. We got to deal with this. This Arctic wind or whatever's coming across. But it's insane. Wiz says, although this was the Nets, it still shows that it was all mental. Agreed, Wiz. I'm glad you said that. It was all mental. We were overthinking the game, man. Overthinking the game. Just simplify things, man. And it felt like they simplified the offense. It felt like that. Because they weren't overthinking things. They weren't trying to do this. First person that was open, they was hitting them. Boom. It weren't overthinking things. Brunson wasn't over Jake. So that's huge. Because listen, guys, he's the head of the snake. So when he over dribbles sometimes, that can kind of stunt the offense. So he was making first reads, great passes. Cat was setting great screens for him. He was coming off, hitting a little floater. Josh wasn't overthinking things. Neither was Bridges. Like, just play hoops, man. Like, don't overthink this thing. And yeah, offense looked great tonight. Vibes, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through, rock with LV Live. Yo, Vibes gotta go get the grill. Yo, Vibes, word up. I'm gonna go Friday morning. I got some stuff in here now, but I gotta stack up, man, because it's gonna be hibernation this weekend, man. They said it's supposed to be nasty out. Temperature's gonna be dropping. Ice roads and all this other stuff. It's just insane, man. But yeah, I'm gonna go Friday morning vibes. Vibes letting everybody know. Go get them groceries right, man. Mellow Mike said we blow out the Nets by great job. Yeah, agreed. Mellow Mike says, now we see how they step to the challenge in Philly. With the Fast and Furious, with the Maxey and Edgecombe looking like, yeah, got that right. Fast and the Furious. That's definitely what they are. Definitely what they are. The Knicks compete and fight hard against. You know what's crazy, Mellow Mike? That was never a question before. Like, like we knew we were going to bring and fight the Philly. Like, so that's the thing. And that's where I kind of lean into what Deuce said. You know what I mean? When he mentioned that the other day, he said, yo, man, I kind of think we kind of took things for granted. Like we kind of were, expected that we would get these wins and, you kind of start winning a lot. You kind of start, you know what I mean? And I feel like they took their foot off the gas a bit and lost that hunger, right? Because now you're not the hunter, you're the hunted, right? So that changes now when you're the contender. Now everybody's hunting you. So the Knicks got to flip the switch. And we're crawling up. We're trying to get to. You got to find a person you're trying to chase because now that's where the mindset's got to get back that hunger, man. It's different, man. When you kind of your belly's full. Your belly's full, right? You don't have that drive like you once did. In the words of the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler, if you guys know boxing, he said it's very hard to get up and run miles before a fight when you're sleeping in silk sheets, right? It's real hard to do that. And everything is cushy, right? You're all sweet. Everything, you got your jewelry, you got your money, you got your silk sheets. You don't want to get out. You don't want to put the grind in. It's like Rocky 3, right? Remember Rocky 3? Clubber Lang was training in the sewer. Remember that? Doing pull-ups in the sewer. Rocky had a nice training area. You know what I'm saying? You guys remember that? If you guys know Rocky 3. Clubber Lang was training. Yo, he was training like he was in the bottom of the sewer with pipes. That's how it is, man. We got to get back on that. That's what we need to get back to. So that's why I started off by saying we're 1-0. 1-0. Got to get back that hunger, man. Got to get back. They've lost it a bit. Yo, One Shot D, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV live tonight. Big time win for them boys. Smacking them cats across town by 54 points, 120-66. The Big Cat, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Mellow Mike says the Knicks definitely played a different game, which was more easier offense, and everyone got involved back to the way it should be. Mellow Mike, well said, sir. It's funny because it looked like it was easier offense. It looked like it was a go with the flow type thing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they weren't overthinking it. They were going to their first read, boom, and that was it. And they were inside. Like it wasn't like they were trying to shoot for threes. Like they only had 32 threes tonight. To me, that's a perfect number. I don't want them shooting 45 threes. I don't want them just chucking up shots. I want them getting the best shot possible. Let's get back to playing real regular basketball when you're trying to find a better shot and not trying to be like the Warriors, right? So tonight felt like that. It felt like that. And everybody got involved. And then after that, through that, you see the intensity pick up on defense, right? You saw the intensity pick up. Tonight. That was the beauty of tonight. Mellow Mike here brought me back memories. Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray. Yo, of course, man. The Four Kings, man. The Four Kings. Mellow Mike, you know about the Four Kings? Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, and Durant. Yeah, man. I grew up on boxing too, man. My pops put me onto the boxing, man. That was my joint, man. Best boxer to me ever. To me, I mean, of course, Muhammad Ali's at the top of the list. Best fighter I ever saw. Watch growing up. Roy Jones was the most skilled fighter listen, man. When he was at his peak, he was untouchable. I think in his prime, he whips all these boys. He whips Bud. He whips Spence. He tears Mayweather in half. Like he hit him at his prime was insane. Insane was Roy Jones. Just naturally gifted in the ring, man. He was He was something else. Listen, I watched Leonard, I watched all those guys growing up, my pops and Hagler and Hearns and all the great guys. Like, of course everybody knows about Tyson and stuff and Holyfield but Pernell Whitaker, of course, right? Sweet Pea, Mildred Taylor, right? You know what I mean? Like, I can go down the list. But pound for pound, the best I saw watching was Roy Jones, man. Roy Jones was on a different level, man. Different level. You got to understand. I remember James Toney. Remember James Toney? James Toney was nice. When he got in the ring with Roy made him look like Roy was whipping him, man. Bad. Remember, he whipped up B-Hop. Bernard Hopkins, he whipped him up crazy. You know what I'm saying? We know how good B-Hop was. But he couldn't touch him. Roy was he was smoking all them dudes. And they was in their primes. Like, we're not, when Roy got older, he started getting knocked out by, Tarver and all that stuff. I'm speaking of him in his prime. In his prime, he was smoking all them dudes. And those guys were hella fight. Was no joke. James Toney was official. He was smoking them dudes, blowing them out the water. That's how good he was. Yeah. Killer AB Inc. I hope I'm saying that right, man. I appreciate you coming through rocking with me, man. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, man. But I appreciate you coming through rocking with me and my crew, man. This is what we do after every Knicks game. Much needed victory tonight by the boys. 54 points. This is the most the Knicks, most the Knicks have beat a team in Knicks history. Killer because. Okay. Appreciate you correcting me, man. I didn't want to butcher your name. But I appreciate you coming through rocking with me. Please subscribe to the channel, sir. Says the weather was very challenging today. I had to take off my sport jacket when it hit. You're a funny guy, man. You're a funny guy. It hit 80 degrees, and now I had to put it back on when went to 64. You're a wild boy for that, man. What did Hope say? I had to take off the blazer, button up the tie, right? What did he say? I had to take off the blazer, loosen up the tie, step inside the booth. Superman is alive. Remember Hope said that? I had to take off the blazer. You're a funny guy for that, man. That's well played, sir. Well played. But I'm like, those boxing, yo, come on, man. That's when boxing was ill, man. Nah, it ain't the same. No more, man. It ain't the same. One shot deep, Roy Jones. Roy Jones was ill, man. Roy Jones was ill. He was ill, man. Yeah, James Toney was nice. He had the shoulder roll and all that. See, they talk about Floyd. James Toney had the ill shoulder roll. Because remember, you were swinging Toney, you put that shoulder up, you just hit him on, bow, hit you with that jab. Toney was nasty. He got in there with Roy. Roy made him look like he was an amateur fighter, man. Yeah, man, boxing was ill back then, man. Boxing was ill back then, man. Missed them days, man. That's when boxing was official, man. Great win, man. Great win. Much needed win, too, man. Much needed win. Also, too, did you guys see the team laughing with each other and stuff like that? Did you guys see that? Like, you saw the camaraderie on the bench. That's the brotherhood, man. They got to get back to that, man. And that's why, believe it or not, I stress that you can't be so caught up in this offense. And this is why I always put it back to the coach, because it's your job to make things easier for these guys. It's not your job to make it harder. And if you see Cat is struggling with the offense, it impacts everybody else, because he's such a main cog to what it is that we do. So you got to simplify it. You can't just say, just learn it. Like, you can't do that and try to force feed something. Then you're going to get pushback. And it looked like today it was kind of dumbed down. It looked like they wasn't running the same. They looked like they was running simple, read and react. That's it. And of course, certain parts, if you come down and everybody tries to go to the corners for three, cool. But that ain't the first read. Before, it felt like the first read was trying to get a three up. It didn't look like that today. It was like everything. Let's get layups. Let's get in the paint. Let's try to score like that. Layups, back cuts. Let's get Towns involved in the middle. If the three is open, take it. If not, we go into the rack. Everything's back cuts. Let's, you know what I mean? Like mid-range. That's because that simplified the game, man. It's always been, always inside out, not outside in. Like, you know, that's why I said the Warrior stuff is insane. You can't base basketball off of that because that's really not good basketball. There was one shot that Deuce came down and there was nobody down there. He just pulled from a three. He made it, but I said, that's a bad shot. That's a bad shot. So like it's like things like that they got to kind of get out of, because when you place good teams and you're missing shots like that, they're going to make you pay for it. So you got to be smart with your shot making and all that other stuff in your decision making. You have to get better with that, because when you kind of get in the mindset like, yo, we want to put up 45 threes, that's what people are thinking. So you kind of forget to just play the game. You know what I'm saying? You kind of forget that. And I think that's kind of like what they kind of got back to today. It felt like that. Okay, guys, let me pull up interview here. Landry Shamet, man. Shamet's back, man. I thought he looked great today. This is the one thing too, man. You gotta be mad at Tibbs, man. You know, Tibbs dropped the ball. Imagine if this guy was playing like this in the playoffs, man. Imagine what would have happened last year with the Indiana Pacers, man. Tibbs didn't want to give him no minutes. But this guy, you got to give minutes, man. You got to give minutes. You could see him being out there how much better we look, because we don't skip a beat offensively, and then defensively we pick it up a notch. You know what I mean? So it's great to have him back. I hope after this year the Knicks kind of extend him, you know, a bit. If I'm him, I'm gonna kind of look into that shoulder piece, man. Maybe I can kind of get surgery on that shoulder during the offseason. If I sign a deal, maybe if I sign an extension with the Knicks for a couple of years at a good price, maybe this summer I might kind of get my shoulder taken care of, man. So where it doesn't continue to bother me, kind of like what Randall did, and then, you know, maybe come back like mid-season next year or something like that. That's what I would do if I was him. But I think the Knicks should look to locking him in, man. I think he's a great bench piece for them going forward, man, for the next couple of years. So, all right, guys, let's hear from Shamet. Let me pull this up, make sure the volume's good. Great game from him tonight. 18 points. He was awesome.
Here now with Landry Shamet. Landry, congrats on a great win. Thanks for dropping by. What's it like to play in a game like that?
You know, we've been, obviously, it's no secret to anybody, this has been a bit of a tough stretch for us. So that's the beautiful thing about the NBA. You know, quick turnarounds, and we had an opportunity to, you know, come out and work on ourselves and you know, do things the right way. And I think we did that tonight, regardless of the, you know, the outcome being a larger blowout. You know, that was a picture of, you know, what we did, and shows what we can do and what we're capable of.
What was the biggest difference tonight as compared to the recent nights where you guys have struggled a little bit?
Connectivity, physicality, setting the tone, dictating. We've been talking about a lot of these things in practice, and you know, a lot of really just the controllables on our end. Taking care of those early on, you know, sets the tone for the rest of the game, regardless of who you're playing. So we've got to find a way to roll this into, you know, the next one.
You come back, this is your fourth game back off the shoulder injury. You go 6 of 6 from downtown. What's it mean to you to be able to come back from a shoulder injury again and have a game like this?
You know, I just trust my work, and you know, there's other ways. I know the shots went in tonight, but you know, there's other ways where I want to help my team win games defensively, talking, continuing to help us get better on all those fronts. So means a lot, obviously, when the ball goes in, but you know, there's a lot of areas still where we can grow defensively and collectively.
Landry, thanks for dropping by. Congrats on a great performance.
Yep, thank you.
Well said by Shamet. Well said by Shamet. It's great to have him back. One thing that I thought was great, what he said, was that connectivity, right? Just everybody being on the same page, connecting with each other, and then hopping out and being ready to go for these games, right? And I thought, you know, they attacked tonight. They got right to it. It wasn't a matter of them trying to, you know, get going in the game, having slow starts. No, they didn't. They attacked right away. And that's how you attack. Go straight to the basket, get layups, things like that. We don't want to come out chucking threes, right? That's the thing. And then I thought defensively, they were aggressive on that end, right? And I think that's how you have to be, man, in this league. And you got to bring that energy every game. And I thought that that's what the Knicks did today. And he stated, he said, listen, man, you know, everyone knows that we've been on a tough stretch. He said, but we talked about that in practice, like getting after it, hopping on these guys early, and being physical, right? Being aggressive. And I think that's what they did tonight, right? And once again, it's great to have this guy back, man, because he he really kind of gets after. What I love about him is that when he comes in, he doesn't skip a beat. Like he comes in with that defensive intensity and he can knock down shots. That's all you really need from him to do. Play defense and knock down shots. And that's what he does. And so you have him back there with Deuce, good two point of attack defenders at the top of the key. Landry Shamet had Cam Thompson in jail tonight, right? Because of his intensity. I was getting after it on the defensive end. And you have Deuce on the other end as well. So now you have those guys, and then you throw OG out there, which is awesome. So now, our wings and our guards are really kind of, taking it personal, point of attack defensively. And I thought that's what they did tonight, man. And great game for Shamet. Hey, Tony, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through Rock with LV Live tonight, man. Big time win for them boys. Great bounce back win, 120 to 66, 54-point win, man. Defensively, got after. Look, this is what is it? I said since 2016. This is the lowest points that a team has scored since that year. Knicks set a record, man. Look at that. That's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. Okay, Tony says, a win tonight that any team would have gotten. We will put conversation come after the Sixers. A win tonight that any team will have gotten, we will put conversation come after the Sixers. Okay. I get what you're saying. Okay. We will see our conversation after the Sixers game. Thank you, Tony. Thank you. There we go. Tony, I agree with you. They got 2 days off. But I said this earlier, Tony. I don't know if you heard me. 1-0 for the season. One game at a time. I don't care about next week's game. I don't care about the standings. One game at a time. That's how they should approach us going forward. Bring that same energy, bring that same activity, and just super aggressive. That's how you got to be, man. It's like what Shamet said, right? You kind of like you're attacking the day, you're attacking the moment. And that's what you want. Like, you got to come out and hop on these boys early, and that's what the Knicks did. But I thought that what helps is them, taking high percentage shots and running a smooth offense and guys knowing where they want to get to and going downhill with it, right? And meaning we're not coming out chucking threes. We're looking for Cat in the middle. We're looking for Josh cutting. We're looking for OG cutting. We're looking for Brunson getting in mid-range. And then we can kind of start flowing our offense. Then, if threes are open, cool. Corner threes, great. We're not, we don't want to take a three, just running down, chucking it or whatever. We just got to be smart with our shots. And I felt that's what we did tonight, man. It was great to see, man. Great flow to the offense, and I thought we got after it defensively, man. And that's what led to a great showing tonight. Okay. All right, cool. So that was Shamet. Let's go here, man. Let's listen to the coach, man. Let's listen to what the coach is saying, man. Pull him up, see what he's saying. I thought that like I said, I think he simplified the game tonight for these boys. So I think all in all, it was great. Okay, so let me pull up the coach here. Let's listen to him and what he has to say tonight. What he has to say about tonight's win.
Mike, what does it say for you to see your team respond like this? I mean, it's a record-setting win. By the margin of victory, you beat the previous one by like 7. I mean, of all time. And I mean, to respond big time after all this adversity, what was it like for you to watch that?
I didn't know about the record really until it was mentioned here, but just seeing us play the way we're capable of playing, and again, I don't know what the score will be every night, but the things that we did out on the floor, we've talked about, we've drilled, we've watched film on, and our guys are more than capable. And so to go see them put it together for 48 minutes was a lot of fun.
Mike,
so to me, the greatest thing that he said there was that they put it together for 48 minutes, right? And to me, that's the biggest thing, right? How are you guys going to compete from the tip to the end of the buzzer, right? In the end of the fourth quarter, how are you guys going to be? What's your intensity going to be like? And I thought that they came out with that today. Hey, listen, guys, they've been embarrassed, man. They know what's been going on. So by those meetings and guys talking, they know what it is and they know what they've been doing. And I'm sure also to him as a coach. I mean, he's mentioned it too. He's got to look in the mirror too. He's got to look at things that maybe he needs to get better with. And I've said to you guys again, I've stressed this, like, this is new for him. This is not new for them. They've won without him, right? All these guys. So they've been to, the second round of the playoffs, and they've been to the Eastern Conference Finals like last year, and Brunson's been to the playoffs 4 straight years. So these guys are used to winning. So you have to come here and adjust to them. It's not the other way around. And I think that he has to look in the mirror with a lot of ways to where he can make things easier for these guys, and that they can get back to playing winning basketball like what they played today. And like he stated, they can have a full 48 minutes of complete basketball. And I thought that's what I saw today. I don't know who mentioned it in the chat. I think it was I'm not sure who mentioned it, but someone stated in the chat that it was a mental thing. And it is a mental thing. It is, because when you're overthinking things, you're trying to figure out where you're supposed to be on offense, where you're supposed to be on defense. We got to simplify things. This is easy. The game is not hard, man. Simplify it. Once again, like I stated, play inside out, not outside in, right? Let's get easy buckets. Let's kind of make things simpler. Let's get cat touches in the paint. Let's let him get busy. But Brunson's hitting mid ranges. Let's get cuts. OG a couple of easy dunks. Let's make things simpler here, and then that will open things up on the outside, which it did. Knicks shooting 50% from three. It was 16 for 32, and they shot 57% from the field as well. Let me tell you the numbers from the field. They were 46 for 80 from the field today, right? So they out rebounded them as well. If they out rebounded, they out rebounded the Nets 56 to 27. 56 to 27. They out rebounded the boys. Talking about getting after it, man. 50. That's crazy, right? They weren't even trying to to get any boards, man. 56 to 27. That's insane. Insane. And 20 and they flipped the fast break points. Remember last game it was like 32 to 4. So tonight it was 28 to 4 for the Knicks. And they also won points in the paint, 46 points in the paint to the Nets, 20 points in the paint. And the Knicks and the Knicks' largest lead tonight, ready guys, was 59 points. I mean, they just got after it tonight, man. They had 10 steals tonight. So I mean, this is easy, man. They wanted it tonight and they locked in. So now, now it's once again, like I stated before, now we're 1-0. So now let's kind of get after it. Tony. Dawn Staley, that's wild. They did, it's funny, they did interview her too. That's what they said. I don't know how true that is, but they said they interviewed her, man, for the job. That's crazy. I don't know why they did that, but great win tonight, man. All right, guys, listen to the Big Cat, man. The Big Cat's talking about the game tonight. Let's listen to him. Thought he was exceptional tonight. Great game for him, man. You got to feed the Big Cat, man. You got to feed the Big Cat. Keep him happy. Keep him happy, because once again, like I stated before, and I'm gonna say it again. Listen, if he ain't playing good, we're not going anywhere. So we need the Big Cat, especially if they're not going to move him, they're not going to trade him. Let's figure out a way to make it work with him. All right, here goes Towns.
What had to happen tonight, and what did you see from the team tonight?
A win. It's the most important thing. Just finding a way to break the ice and put one on the left column. So good game, good day for us to show what we're capable of. But consistency is what makes champions, and we got to find that consistency of bringing this kind of intensity, energy, and execution every single night.
What had
perfect word, consistency. That's it. It's really simple, consistency, man, right? So being able to be consistent every single game. Like how does the Knicks, bounce back and respond after tonight, right? Do they go and lay an egg out there in Philly? You know what I mean? Because it's gonna be MSG out there in Philly. You know that everyone from the Garden is gonna be there. just like how I was in the playoffs. So you know every Knick is going to be there, Knick fan and everything. So we got to understand that. So when we go there, we can't lay an egg. So the same type of mindset and attitude that we had tonight, we got to bring that same thing in Philly on Saturday. That's what we have to do, man. So I loved what the Big Cat said. Consistency is the key. Consistency builds champions. Tony, James Jones must have gave Mike Brown a paycheck to the Mets coach for them just tank this game. Tony. Yo, you see the Mets picked up a big picture today, man. Yo, the Mets is rolling, man. The Mets are rolling. I'm a Yankee guy, but I'm just saying you got to salute them boys, man. You got to salute them boys what they're doing across town. I was big time. But yeah, man, well said by the Big Cat, man. Well said by him. You know. So let's look at Big Cat again. He's talking about the players only meeting. He's talking about that here. Let's pull him up here in regards to that. I thought that's big. Everyone's talking about that, which is huge. So let's listen to the Big Cat regarding that. They got music playing in the background, man. I hope they don't flag me for that, but listen to the Big Cat.
Do you feel like that players only meeting kind of helped you guys reset and get everybody on the same page?
I think losing 4 in a row better get everyone on the same page. I'm glad tonight that everyone looked like they saw what was going on and what we needed to stop the bleeding. And I think we did a great job of showing what we're capable of tonight, like I said. But, consistency is what's going to be what's going to make us great, and it's going to make the season a successful season. So we just got to build on it.
Listen, well said by him, man. Well said by him. And I say well said because he didn't really want to give too much information, right, about that players only meeting, right? He said, I think losing 4 in a row, right? So I hear what he's saying. He don't want to give too much information regarding that. And so I think him mentioning the fact that them getting on the same page is pretty much what, what is able to help them, win tonight, right? But trust me, that players only meeting, they really were able to open up and, talk about, the struggles that they're having as a team and things that they need to do. Trust me, you can imagine certain things that were stated, in that meeting, man. So it obviously works because they look like a different team tonight. But to Cat's point, consistency, right, is the key. So let's see how they look after 2 days off against Philly. Tony says, why did it take Brunson 3 seasons to learn how to throw? Well, listen, man, it's kind of stuff going around as well, man, about Brunson, man. I guess he's getting some of the heat too, right? From seeing from Twitter and people, and a lot of people don't like the fact that he's dribbling a lot, man. He's not passing the rock. And so, that's something that, Brunson has to get better with, which he's doing, man. You know what I mean? So he's such a good player, man, that sometimes it's hard to criticize him. But, he does have to get better on the defensive end. And also, he has to get better with trying to find his players. Cat is a very, very important piece here, man. Very, very important. And the misconception is that, we could just say, all right, well, Towns has got to toughen up. It don't go like that. It don't go like that with these guys. These guys, once again, have egos. They're kind of prima donnas. You got to feed those guys, man, and make sure that they're happy, right? In order to get the best results out of them sometimes. And that's just what it is when you're dealing with stars and divas, right? That's just what comes with that. And so I think feeding the Cat and kind of helping him and understand that you need him and Brunson for this to be a successful season is big. But I think Brunson, like you stated, throwing those lob passes, kind of looking for people, is what also helps bring their camaraderie together as a team. All right, guys, running through these interviews real quick, man. These guys are all talking, man, which is good. And I'm glad they all kind of are building, the camaraderie back, man. All All right, so listen to Josh here. So I'm play what Josh stated. Josh is downplaying certain things. So once again, this kind of goes back to what Kat said. These guys don't really want to open up about what was talked about and what was said. And to me, I agree with that. And also, too, guys, I don't like the fact that it was leaked. I don't like the fact that it was leaked that, the players only meeting. I don't like that stuff, man. Keep that stuff in-house. Whoever's leaking that, they should find out, man, and get and light those dudes up, man. Find them or something like that, or maybe I don't want to say kick them off the team, but whatever. Whoever's doing it, like, stop doing that, man. You listen, this is a players only meeting. That's just for us. It ain't for everybody, man. We got to talk amongst each other, man. Crazy. So listen to what Josh is saying regarding that.
I think the players only meeting you guys had after the
We didn't have a players only meeting.
No?
Like y'all dragging that. I'm just telling you, we didn't have a players only meeting. I don't know who said it, who did all that. Like, we didn't have a players only meeting. We talked, but it wasn't like it wasn't like some thing. So that got dragged. We didn't have a players only meeting. We know we have to do. We cleaned some up yesterday in film and practice, and then today in walking. So we know, like I said, we haven't been playing to our capability, but we're going to continue to build off this work.
I think the players only meeting you guys.
I love that he said that. Now, we all know that they had some type of meeting, right? Of course, however you want to label it and call it, whatever. But, I love that Josh is downplaying it, because he's probably saying, look, man, I don't know who dragged that Hooper, but he's probably upset, or probably that got leaked. You know what I mean? He's probably upset that someone's opening their mouth and saying stuff. But I guarantee you they talked. But he mentioned that they talked. So, of course, they had some type of meeting. Of course, they discussed what's been going on. Of course, they talked. And it probably was on some stuff where everyone's getting changed. The coaches are leaving. They're like, yo, no one leave. No one leave. Yo, we got to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? They all probably started venting and opening up and discussing things about whatever's going on. But, once again, like, that stuff shouldn't be leaked out, man. Like, I'm sure that's why Josh seemed upset about the fact that, stuff is obviously getting leaked, and he's trying to downplay it, man. But he did mention they did talk. They did talk. So a conversation was had regarding what's going on. And he said they got to practice and they locked back in and they did what they needed to do, man. So I think that's awesome to see from that. Tony, this Jaren Jackson Jr. talk, man. He can stay where he is. Nothing special about him. He's never going to be an all-star player. He's another Mikal Bridges. Yeah, Triple J, man, he's a decent player, man. But is he on the level of Towns? He's not, Is Triple J going to be able to take care of game? Is Triple J going to be able to do what Towns did in Detroit last year? Is Triple J going to be able to do what Towns did in Indiana last year in the playoffs, right? So I'm just saying, so, you got to think of who these guys are, man. So, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't think Towns gets moved. I think they want to make this work, man. I think they want to make this work. They want to see this through. Towns has only been here 1 year. Like, you know what I mean? He's been here 1 year. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And he had a monster season last year. Why would they just want to trade him right away just because of whatever? They want to see this thing through. So I wouldn't be surprised also, too, if Leon probably talked to Mike Brown. They probably talked to guys, and they probably sat down and said, yo, listen, let's squash this. This is, whatever. Let's tighten up here because, no one's moving. I think the only person that's getting moved is Yabusele. I think that's it. I doubt if Towns – he's still – listen, he's too good of a player, man. He's too good of a player. And this whole talk about Towns and all this other stuff, I've talked about nauseum, and our guys are out there saying this and about him. And guys, he's not the first superstar to act like this. He's not the first star that people got to kind of cater to him. And that's what you do with a lot of these guys, man. All these guys are babies. They all get catered to. So listen, you got to figure it out, man. That's it. Figure it out. But, at the end of the day, let's not try to act like this is a whole new thing with the whole Town stuff. We've heard stuff like this with star players, man. This has been all over the place with star players, but guys got to figure it out. That is it. It's very, very easy. It's not hard. Figure it out. Because this team is too good, especially when he's rolling and he's playing the way that he can play. This team is too good to kind of just throw it away because of a couple of games or, a little loser streak. Like, nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. So for me, that's why this is, this is a big deal in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So, we just have to, just lock in, man. Lock in and continue to stack victories, man. One game at a time. One game at a time. All right, man. Let's listen to Josh. Let's listen to the captain, man. Listen what the captain has to say in regards to tonight's win. Okay. And it's crazy because I know these guys are tired of hearing about this, man, tired of all the talking, man. They just want to get back to playing hoops, man. But I think these couple of days off, getting back in the gym, working on some things, I think it's going to help these guys kind of get back on the back in the motion of like winning basketball and playing games. And, because I think after this game, I think they get another 2 days off before they play again. So they're going to get some rest time in between here to kind of get their legs back. So, all right, let's hear from the captain.
Jalen, you said on the court you guys did some soul searching the last couple of days. Just, what was that like? What was the last couple of days like? Was that illuminating at all?
We just had to refocus and get back to who we are. And this is a good step for us, but we got to continue to press the issue of getting better every single day.
I love what he said. He's not blown away by this, but I'm the same way. I'm not too blown away by this win, man. I'm not. Got to continue to build on this, man. Continue to build, continue to get better. That's it. Let's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Let's not kind of like celebrate small victories. Let's not do that. They know how good they are, right? So you got to continue to build on this. Like Deuce said, don't get so comfortable and so lax. You kind of take your foot off the gas. You kind of think you're going to win every game. I would approach every game like I'm the underdog. Like no one believes in us. They think we stink. That's how I approach every single game. And have that mindset to where now you play with an edge, right? And so through that can help you, through this season and where you're able to pull out wins that no one thinks you can win, because right now people think we stink. They think we're probably the worst team in the league, and so now you got to kind of, approach it like that every team in every game. And then through that, you can kind of get some momentum built here. Right. But you got to continue to stack wins, stack victories, and don't get too comfortable with just one win, man. So I thought that was a great breakdown by the captain, man. So, all right, people, listen, that's my show, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody coming through rocking with me tonight, man. Listen, great win for them boys, getting back in the winning column. I will be going live Saturday, right, after the Philadelphia 76ers game to discuss the game. So please come through and check it out. All right. Please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button, people. Right. Also, too, if it's your first time coming through rocking with me, please subscribe to the channel. Also, to hit that bell icon, right, to get all notifications on all my shows. Also, too, right, leave comments because I do respond to comments. All right, people. Listen, I'm LV Live, and that's my show. I appreciate everybody coming through. I'll be going live again Saturday after the Philly game, so please come through and check it out. All right, I'm LV Live, and that's my show, and I'm out of here, people. Peace.